Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I want you to think about something. Think about my clothes, my drink, my phone, if my notifications go off. What do all of these things have in common? Do you have a guess? They are all decisions that I don't want tomorrow me or tomorrow morning me to have to make. We are always telling ourselves, I'll do better tomorrow. But what are we actually doing today to support ourselves to make a better tomorrow possible? Because your future self is not actually coming to save you. She or he is actually depending on you. So, what is one thing that you keep promising yourself? I'll do better tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. Let me know. Drop it in the chat if you're here. Or just type win in the chat because you showed up for yourself. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time here, welcome or welcome back to Morning Reset with Vitality Social Network. I am your host this morning, Melon, and we have been doing a series that's all about how we can be a little bit more productive each day or start our morning with intention so that we can become the version of ourselves that we want to be, the person that naturally achieves all of our goals and dreams. Because I was reading an Atomic Habit series and sharing that with you all, and we were learning that if we just get 1% better every single day, then after a year, we'll be 37 times better than when we started. So we are just focused on making those small, consistent improvements day after day so we can build those positive habits that can make our life a little bit easier. So when we think about tomorrow morning, we have to be honest with ourselves. We are not going to wake up a completely different person where we're naturally more disciplined, more emotionally regulated, more hydrated, more well fed, more energetic, somehow excited to fold the laundry, whatever it is. Tomorrow me is still me, okay? She has the same nervous system, the same habits that I've been working on, and pretty much also whatever energy I leave her with the night before. So we can't imagine that we're going to become a whole different person overnight. Night me might be wildly optimistic about morning me. She signs her up for a workout, journaling, meal prep, spotless house, and inner peace all before 8 a.m., right? So we have to think about, how we can set ourselves up for success realistically, give ourselves goals that are achievable, attainable, and actually how we can create a path instead of a promise. How we can have a plan, but even more so a plan, how we are clearing the path, making that plan easier to achieve. So think about that at the moment. Is the night you creating a promise or a plan? Which version of you is the most chaotic version of you that transfers into the next one? Is it morning you? Is it workday you? Is it night you? A lot of what we call a discipline problem or a motivation problem is actually a friction problem. The first step that we want to take in the morning has like too many tiny steps hidden inside of it. So if you think I'm going to work out first thing in the morning, that is not one decision. It starts with I need to find clothes that I'm going to wear. I need to find shoes that I'm going to wear. I have to make sure my headphones are charged. I have to choose the workout that I'm going to do. I need to clear the space in my home. And then I need to convince myself that I'm ready to begin, that I've done all the things that I need to do. So your brain naturally is going to file that under like absolutely not. I'm absolutely not going to do that because it's so much easier to make the one choice of sleeping in than the 10 choices that it takes to get ready for your workout. So the goal is not just to like make your life effortless either, but we want to stop creating unnecessary obstacles for the life that you say you want. So let's go ahead and pull out our whiteboard. These are a few concepts that we want to keep in mind, okay? So when we think about what we want for our tomorrow self, and the decisions that we want to make, here's just a few things to keep in mind, okay? So we want to make it easier to start, okay? Easier to start. We want to make it harder to avoid. So put our friction in the right places. If we're thinking about, I want to journal first thing in the morning, well, our journal doesn't need to be like hidden in the other room inside of a drawer. It needs to be somewhere where it's easier to start. And then ultimately, fewer decisions. So if we're thinking about journaling in the morning, we might also go ahead and plan which journal, which pen. We could write out our topic. So then first thing in the morning, all I have to do is open the page and get started. So when you think about how you can set your tomorrow version of you up for success, these are your core concepts. I also want you to ask yourself how you can potentially remove friction. What are the areas where you get stuck? How can you prepare yourself better? What can you make inconvenient so that it's harder to do? Oh, thank you for being here. Credex, love you that you said that. I've heard people can just automatically do things without thinking about all of the goals, and I don't understand how they do that. Yes, exactly. But that's what it is. I particularly struggle with ADHD, and so when I think about something like I'm going to take a shower, well, that shower is actually broken down into 10 decisions, and then I have to wash my hair, and I have to wash my body, and then I have to dry my hair, and then I have to dry myself, and then I have to put clothes on. And by the time I'm done, I'm absolutely overwhelmed with making all of these decisions and choices. And so your brain has decision fatigue. And so it's just going to avoid all of that completely. And thank you, Love is Forever, for being here, for watching. Um, I love that you have been consistent with being here in our streams, and that you learned the 1% better every day equals compounded 37 times better over the course of a year from the Atomic Habit book. So thank you. And I love that you're supporting somebody in the chat with making sure they understand where my math came from. I didn't just make it up. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that all of you are taking the time to show up for yourselves and join the stream and wake up early. That's what I'm trying to do. My first goal was simply wake up at 8 a.m. every single day. I didn't really have a lot of other goals beyond that. Initially, I had built myself a morning routine, but I was really just trying to get up. And then I decided I was going to do this stream at least 3 days a week as kind of my pressure point. Make it a little bit harder not to wake up, because people might be expecting me and looking forward to this and needing this for their morning motivation. So I started having to come up with a plan on what I was going to do when I actually woke up. So now I want to think about 3 different categories. So, oh my gosh, I only have the little end of the marker eraser, so I'm just gonna hands it. Okay, sorry. um, think about 3 categories. Okay, so body, space, your space around you, and your mind. Body, space, mind. And I want you to thank you to my husband, came and just threw the eraser at me. Appreciate you. So, body, space, and mind. Pick the category that is going to help give tomorrow you the most support. Okay, so a lot of us try to prepare for tomorrow by criticizing ourselves tonight, thinking, oh my gosh, I can't sleep in again. Remember what happened when I slept in last time and I didn't get all the things done that I wanted to do. But shame is not a planning system, okay? So support is going to ask yourself, where am I most likely to get stuck and then what can I place there to make it easier? So your body category, um, things like put your medication where you'll see it, prepare your breakfast or prepare your lunch for the next day, lay out your clothes, fill your water bottle, set up your coffee station, okay? Your space category, that is clear one surface, put the charger where it belongs, move your phone completely across the room so that when your alarm goes off, you have to get up and get it. Or better yet, put your phone in an entirely other room and use a manual alarm clock so that you can't check your phone at all and start doom scrolling for the first 10 minutes. Maybe it's just setting out your clothes because your goal is to get up and work out and exercise. So the night before, you're going to set yourself up for success by having your shoes ready, having your gym bag ready, going ahead and making your exercise plan. So then the morning you doesn't have to deal with decision fatigue. She can just get started and jump in because you already have everything out that you need and the plan in place. For your mind category, maybe it's how you can prevent that decision fatigue by writing your first task of the day down, choosing your first priority, making decisions now, and leaving yourself instructions or a plan instead of a cloud of unfinished thoughts. And like we said, not having to make 12 decisions before breakfast so that your brain is tired and the rest of the day is done and you have no chance of thinking it through because you're already exhausted, you're already overwhelmed. The preparation process is not boring. We have to change the way that we think about it. It is almost necessary. It's evidence that somebody is taking care of your future self and that somebody is you. And it's proof to yourself that you want this, you can do this, you're making this important. And I have the kind of the habit, the problem of when I wake up first thing in the morning, I tend to completely forget that I even had a plan in place. Does this ever happen to you? You just wake up and you're like, oh yeah, what was I trying to do today? I have to completely start over. You forget that you were even going to do something, right? So again, I want you to ask yourself in this process, where do you get stuck? What can you prepare? What can you make inconvenient? Do any of you have goals that you're working towards or habits that you're trying to build? I would love to consider how we can put a process in place to help make tomorrow easier for you to start. We've already talked about a few tips and tricks in the past week or so we can bring back things like habit stacking where we already wake up and we make our morning beverage for the day, so that's our cue, and we can consider how we're also trying to start journaling, so I'm going to stack that by putting it out right where my morning drink station is, so that way it flags my mind to remember to take the step of journaling. So we can think about, what is our consistent routine? What do we already do naturally without thought whatsoever? And how can we add those pieces of the puzzle in at the natural time? And then we're considering then how the day before we make it even easier. So maybe you're just trying to start remembering to take your medication every day. So one thing you naturally do is wake up and go to the bathroom in the morning. So could you set your medication out when you go to the bathroom at night, right on your sink or your station there, at your night table, whatever it is, somewhere that it's going to flag you first thing when you wake up to take that medication. Or maybe you're supposed to take it with food. So you put it out in the kitchen. Not everybody's going to keep their medicine in the kitchen, but if it helps you to flag your mind to remember to take it, then that's an example of how you can set yourself up the night before. I also want to think about, maybe some more examples of things we don't want to do and how we can add friction the night before, how we can make it a little bit harder for us to break habits. It could be that, the simple one is you're trying to avoid sleeping in. So, like we talked about, we're adding friction by putting our phone across the room. Maybe we're trying to drink more water and less soda. So, what we can do is set out our water the night before and then hide the soda. Take it out of the house. Put it somewhere where if we really want that soda, we have to like drive to a whole, store in order to buy it and get it. It's not just easy for us to obtain. So, those are some of the simple concepts that we're trying to think about today. It's really just all comes down to this. Okay, so I would love for you to think about this and this be what you write in the comments. Okay, so tonight I will what? Tonight I will do this so that tomorrow probably. Okay, tomorrow is easier to blank or harder, whatever it is, whether you're trying to make or break a habit. But that's your plan for today. That's your action step, okay? To consider. Tonight, my night self is going to set up my future self. So tonight I will blank so that tomorrow it's easier to blank. That's your homework. Maybe it's tonight I write out my plan for the morning, my routine for the morning, so that tomorrow I wake up and follow it. Maybe it's tonight I'm going to set out my book with a bookmark, so tomorrow I wake up and read for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I do the 2-minute rule. We bring that back. Somebody says, so sometimes I need to remember to bring something with me to work, for example, food from the fridge, or I need to do an errand like go to the bank. I'll put any scrap piece of paper on the speedometer in my car behind the steering wheel. Doesn't even have to say anything. But that's your flag. That's your visual flag of like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do something. This is different than what I normally see. Why is this piece of paper here? And then you're like, oh yeah, my brain has to remember that I'm supposed to do something with that. I love that so much. Yes, just being there is a visual reminder to do the task. That is so funny but so perfect, and that is an incredible way to have your night self set your tomorrow self up for success, because exactly like we make all these plans and all these to-dos, and what is it that's actually going to prompt us to remember it? And some people have like on their phone, you can have the reminders and the notifications, the events that pop up for your phone, but other people have so many of those going all off all day, every notification, that they just dissociate from their phone completely. Those reminders mean nothing. They just skip it and snooze it the same way they would, their alarm clock in the morning. So I love your way of like having a different way of reminding yourself. Or maybe it is one of those simple tasks, and maybe it's somewhere in your house. You always go to the fridge first thing in the morning, so you put your piece of paper on the fridge somewhere where you're definitely going to catch that. That's a great idea. Somebody, Credix says, I used to keep my soda in my car, so I had to work to get one. But then I caught myself just walking to my car at 3 a.m. for a soda. Exactly. So you're like, oh, now I know that's where it is. So my brain is rewired to just go to the car instead of go to the fridge. So you might need to make it even harder. You just can't buy soda at the store for the next week. I'm sorry. Or maybe you have to have like a limited amount. You get 5. You get one per weekday or something. If you drink them all in one day, then you're out for the week. I don't know, but it seems like you need to add a little bit more friction to trick your brain. Credix also says, I used to stick paper in my door for the same reason, so I'd see it when I walked out of the house. Or the string around your finger thing. Yeah, like why is this string here? Or when you open the door and the paper falls out. Oh yeah, it prompts me that something different's happening. I love that. So when we think about these things that we're trying to change, it's basically like that, like a breadcrumb for tomorrow you. You know, you're not necessarily trying to reinvent your whole life, but you're keeping it small enough that you can actually do it tonight. That it's not the same problem where you have to make like 10 new decisions or add a whole night routine to your evening in order to accomplish tomorrow. We're just trying to think of like one obstacle, one act of support, one visual flag, you know, just I think this honestly, the example that you guys are giving in the chat is perfect. What is that one little thing that you can do that flags tomorrow you that you're supposed to take action, that you're supposed to do something differently? So that's your homework for today. Tonight I will blank, so tomorrow it's easier to blank. And remind yourself that you don't have to become a whole new person in one day. You just need to become a better teammate for yourself so that you can become the person you want to be. And the person that you already are is naturally embodying the person that you want to be as well. Just one better decision at a time, one way of setting yourself up for success. That's all you need. So you don't have to ask tomorrow you to rescue you and to have all the weight of becoming a new person without any support. Leave that tomorrow you a path to succeed. Leave a breadcrumb to remind her what it is that you agreed to do. You know, leave your shoes out or leave your water out. Make that one decision that's going to make it a little bit easier for tomorrow you to have a better day. So it's not just a promise to do better, but it's a real thing that actually makes better easier. If you've made it this far, thank you all for being here so much. If you haven't already joined our group Discord, we would love to have you. It's a community of live streamers or people that are trying to become live streamers so that we can share what we're passionate about. But we also have people from the morning group there. We have people from our other episodes there. So we have another series about making music or songwriting. We have another series about using AI to be more productive in life or make your life easier, more attainable. And then we also have a new host that's getting added to the schedule, and she's doing something kind of fun where she's analyzing film adaptations or remakes of your favorite story and talking about what worked and what didn't work and her hot takes on that. And I think it's a fun little pop culture stream, but also educational because she's bringing her background, her bachelor's in the arts and story writing to the conversation. So if you're interested, then please subscribe and like and stick around. We're happy to have you. One last ask would be to like the stream. If you're still here, that is a huge vote of confidence for me that you want me to keep making these morning streams and showing up for all of us. And I will continue to do that on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, as long as my schedule is not getting crazy. I'm going to stick to it and try to make that a priority so I can be here for myself and be here for you. And then lastly, I just want to close out with our theme song because I wrote a special song specifically for this morning stream and it gives me energy. Oh, what's the link to the Discord? Can you type it in the chat? Yeah, I will try to type it in the chat. It's definitely in the description of the video. Thank you for asking that. I'll see if I can copy and paste it into the chat as well. Sometimes the Google chat, like the YouTube chat, is a little bit picky about links and stuff. Sometimes it allows it, sometimes it doesn't, but I'll see if we can get it to work. So there's one of just the link. Here's maybe one with like, I don't know, some spaces just in case. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it worked. It looks like it stuck. Okay, so that's the link to the Discord. Thank you so much for asking. I hope that you join and you'll be there. And then let's close out with our theme song and use it to just take a moment to take a breath and envision who we want to be. And then I'll see you guys back next time. Thank you.
Take one deep breath.
Literally.
Let good energy in. Feel that spark under your skin. Refresh your mind. Rebuild your momentum. Reclaim your life. you're still alive. So take back your life. Take one deep breath. You're still alive. So take back your life. Take one deep breath.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your morning.